So today is a huge day, and by huge, I mean big things are happening to my Jeep. So my Jeep Finnegan, the 392 with Extreme Recon package, is getting a makeover today from the bottom up. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna put a 3.5-inch Metalcloak Game Changer suspension on it with 37-inch Thompson Baja tires. I cannot wait to see the final product, but I'm gonna take you through the whole thing step by step. Let's go.
Brought to you by Epic Adventure Outfitters, North America's proven and premier builder of Jeep Wrangler, Jeep Gladiator, and Ram Truck Expedition vehicles. And also by Metalcloak. It's your Jeep, only better.
So I'm here at Epic Adventure Outfitters in British Columbia, Canada. That's right, Canada. Why Canada, you might ask? Why Epic? Well, I spent a lot of money on my Jeep 392, and it's something that I really need to perform well in extreme situations when I'm out there overlanding and rock crawling and all the stuff I do in that Jeep. And so whenever anything's done to it, I wanna make sure that it's done by the best, and Epic is the best. And let me tell you this, it wasn't that hard to come up here from Idaho. Like, border crossing from US into Canada is actually pretty easy. I think it took me maybe 5 minutes. I had a nice conversation with the border crossing agent. He was like, have fun, came through, and I'm here. So it really wasn't that bad to come up into Canada to do it. But even if it were, it's worth it because Christian and the crew and Paul and the crew here are the best. This is what they do. They work on Jeeps. They do these kinds of lifts nonstop. And they do a bunch of other crazy stuff too, which maybe we'll see some stuff they're working on today. But that's why I think it's important to take your rig to the very best when you're doing this stuff that dramatically affects how your rig performs. So let me take you in and show you what we're working on. Oh,
Will,
the guys.
how's it going, bud?
Good. Hey, let's do some suspension work today.
Sounds like an idea.
Christian, are you okay with that?
It's all we do.
I know you're really busy working on other things right now.
I was looking at Pornhub.
The crew at Epic wasted 0 seconds before tearing into the Metalcloak 3.5-inch Game Changer suspension. Seeing this stuff come out of the box kind of felt like Christmas, except that someone else was opening my presents.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this little white Jeep a little bit bigger and more capable to keep up with Sean. So, we've got a lot of these gold fancy parts. If you don't know, they're Metalcloak. What they've sent us, full set of control arms. These are one of the best control arms on the industry because you don't have to maintain them all the time and change them out. It's got like a bushing that rotates inside here, so it'll nicely give you good road manners and all that fun stuff. As well, it's really easy to swap out. Up here, we've got parts to drop the front sway bar. We've got rear sway bar links. We've got the springs, different lower isolators, different upper isolators. Obviously bump stop extensions so that we make sure that we don't bottom out or rip a fender off, that we stop where we're supposed to in the travel. Front and rear track bars, and the beautiful 392 specific Falcon 3.3s. There is no better shock for the money that has been designed from the ground up for Jeeps. Isn't that satisfying?
You can turn a knob?
Yeah.
Wait, can I try?
You can turn it. Doesn't it?
Oh
how
my
does that
God,
feel?
that's...
Now, I don't know
That's
if
very
you've
satisfying.
adjusted any other shocks over your years in the industry.
I mean, I don't talk about what I do in my bedroom, but...
You basically have to turn a knob like 23 times to go all the way in or back, and then you gotta try and remember how many times you turned it and do that to the rest of them. This is just, we're done.
Very cool.
That's pretty awesome. So, if you look at what we're gonna get rid of here, obviously we're gonna pull off these Jeep Rubicon shocks. They don't do anything to help anybody. Along with the coils, they're all going. We're going to make sure that we relocate the brake lines so we give it a little bit more slack. All these basic black control arms are going. We're gonna get rid of that. Obviously these gold parts aren't factory. Will's been busy in his garage making it harder to do an oil change. We're also gonna change out this drive shaft. Metalcloak was nice enough to send a new drive shaft. We're gonna throw that in, of course. Nice thing about the 392 being all-wheel drive, despite being a downside, you do get CV axle shafts, so at least you don't have as much binding when you're in 4-low off-road. It's a nice thing about it. We're gonna rip all this stuff out. We're gonna add brackets accordingly, all the track bars, all the goodies, and then we're gonna sit them back down on some big old fat tires so that he can make it through Starbucks without a problem. These are Mickey Thompson.
Ooh.
Baja Boss ATs. Yes, that aggressive tire is an all-terrain. Not just an all-terrain, snowflake rated, which is great to go snow wheeling, which I know Idaho has besides potatoes. These have basically been one of our staple tires in the last couple of years, ever since they came out and won awards at SEMA. So 37, 12.5, 17. She a big.
Okay, so the guys at Epic have fully launched into this suspension change out. They're working on the tires, getting the old tires off and putting the new tires on, which is actually a really fascinating process.
In order to get the tire off properly, you gotta take off the beauty ring. Yes, this is a fake beadlock ring so that it looks cool at Costco. Or wear it as jewelry. Your call.
They're trying to peel off the old components of the suspension. The skid plate is getting in the way a little bit, so hopefully it doesn't slow us down too much, but it's fascinating to watch these guys work. They are like all business. They know exactly what they're doing. They know where every single bolt goes. It's pretty impressive.
So just as an example, when we talk about Canadian to US dollar exchange, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but the Canadian dollar is worth a lot less than the US dollar and it's going down. So it may appear that we're more expensive, but again, it's in Canadian dollars. We're a Canadian business. We have to charge in Canadian currency. But by the time that hits your credit card, when you swipe your credit card through our machine, your credit card company will do an exchange and it'll pop out quite a bit less.
So one of the coolest parts about being at Epic is that like you never know what else you're gonna run into. Like you might just run into an 840 horsepower Demon engine, supercharged, bored out, incredible thing they just dropped in a Gladiator, which they just did, and we're gonna go take it for its first test drive with the new engine. Let's go. It still needs a headlight, but it's got the engine.
This is the first time it's actually been out on the road. It was driven in stock form for about almost 2,400 kilometers, so not that far. And then we ripped the guts out of it, and it's back alive, right in time for Christmas. It's the sound, it's just visceral.
So you have the unfortunate job of having to take this thing out and drive it a little bit.
Correct. We've got to put a couple hundred kilometers on these things to make sure that they're good before we hand the keys over. And then it's an iterative process, so we'll get new tunes from the calibration team at AMW, and we'll go back and forth until they're happy with it, and we're happy with it, and then whoever gets to own this sucker will be super happy with it.
Meanwhile, back at Epic, things were moving along, but we still had a ways to go.
What's up, Will?
Almost done.
Obviously. The sooner we can get it done, the sooner you can get the f out.
So one of the things that makes Metalcloak different than other suspension companies is their control arms. And they have these proprietary Duraflex bushings. And what it allows for this kind of flex. I mean, look at this. It's, I think, 30 degrees of flex, which means that you've got a control arm that's keeping everything in place, but it's letting your entire front end flex up and down and side to side, which if you're going over big obstacles is really, really nice, but if you're driving on the road, it's a little bit more comfortable. You can see behind me, they're just finishing up the front end and it's looking really good. I don't envy them though, because I think the skid plate is making it really hard for them to get the new drive shaft in. Yeah, it looks like they're putting some muscle into it. Okay, if you're having work done on your rig, like important work done, like suspension and tires, like maybe the most important thing you can do, treat the people who are working on your rig with respect, because they have your livelihood in their hands, literally. They have your fate in their hands as they're working on it. So at Epic, these guys are pros, they know exactly what they're doing. They're amazing, but we bought them a pizza lunch anyway, just to say thanks and show a little bit of appreciation for the time that they're putting on this thing.
After pizza, the team at Epic got back to finishing up the control arms in the back and making sure the Metalcloak driving components would fit properly. Something you have to be really careful about, so we brought in an expert.
All right, dude, I brought a supervisor to check your work.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be stress testing the build, so I'm going to be taking it out this weekend and just seeing what breaks, and then giving it back to you with however it is at the end of the weekend. So,
yeah, I did not agree to that.
You know, if you send him out with your rig, I'm the one that's going to end up having to fix it. Try to avoid that.
After getting the tires on, we had to lower the Jeep down because I had something very special in the back for Sean.
oh my God, wait! Just kidding. All good.
And you know something? I liked you.
Okay, inside the back of this Jeep, And this refrigerator is something very special. And that is 1 bottle of Blanton's. It's come all the way from Kentucky to be delivered to my friend Sean here.
On the YouTuber train from Kentucky, from Rob at Revere Overland to Will to me.
So
Thanks, guys.
I'm bummed that we're not drinking it together this weekend.
Yeah.
But at least you got it, man.
At least I got it. Yeah. It's nice. Look at that. Look at that's me on the horse.
Go Sean!
Yay! Horsey.
So we're almost done with this. We're gonna drop it on the ground, just do some adjustments with the track bars, and then we can take it for a road test and center up the steering. So what we've done here is basically a full-on, all the arms are switched over to Metalcloak, the steering switched over to Metalcloak, track bars, sway bar links. So we added front drop brackets to it so that we can fix all the geometry in the front, so the arms are a lot more parallel to the road. And then this also helps with the handling and going over bumps and alignment angles and all that other fun stuff. Still recommend getting alignment after this when you do all the control arms, but make sure you go somewhere that's not just gonna center your steering wheel. You can't just trust any mechanic you go to. Ask questions.
What's 2 plus 2?
7.
Oh, you're good.
What is wrong with your education system down there?
So much.
Oh,
There's so
man.
much
Not
wrong.
as good as your healthcare.
Burn!
Due to the extra flexy, because all the Metalcloak components, we've had to add a front drive shaft up here so that we don't rip the Zeppa joint out and have him stranded on the trail. The only one thing you have to worry about is maintenance. You need to grease these on a regular basis. So just to remember, when you go to grease your drive shaft, you're gonna have to remove this, this, and then grease it.
Yeah.
Just check. Just so you know that it's gonna take, an easy 15 minutes before you head out on the trail.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. You're very articulate. All right, now that we've put bigger tires on it, we gotta adjust the Jeep, right?
Yeah, so this is the Z Automotive Taser, and this is the Taser Mini is what we're going to do. So this, and the main reason why you'd have this is to adjust for tire size, so that's going to make your speedo correct, but more importantly, your transmission shifts are going to be correct as well, right? So it's just a configurator from the math. So we can actually disable front wheel drive, because as you know, everything is all wheel drive with the 392 from the factory, the Wrangler. What you can do is disable the front wheel drive with the Mini, and then you only have rear wheel drive, and then you really are opening up the truck to slide and do burnouts and everything. Awesome. So why wouldn't you want one of these, right?
So just up inside the dash here, there's a little module that we have to unplug and then plug in the taser. I've gone in and I changed it to tire size. See how it's over 37, so we come back down one and we set it just below. And then we just go through the rest of them till we see the full reboot. Right, and once we do that, we can let go of everything, and then it'll take some time for it to do its thing. Once it does that, it's now married all together properly.
Awesome.
No bubbles? Nice.
Dude. Huh. Thanks, Paul, for doing the work. Christian, thanks for being you, man.
Hey, only person I know how to be.
Now, if you want to see this wheeled, we're leaving right now. So click on the video that's on the screen right now. We're gonna go snow wheel this thing with Nate from Dirt Lifestyle and my buddy Lance. Let's go.